Some people fly by to the seat of their pants. Others go where the wind takes them. We've got Jason and Nikki Wynn from Gone with the Winds on today's show. This is RVNN Live, brought to you by Pet Hub and GoToMeeting.
Today's program brought to you by Pet Hub. Protect your pet for pennies a day with critical contact, medical, and dietary information on a smartphone scannable ID tag. And by GoToMeeting, affordable online meetings that work so you can do more and travel less.
Hi everyone, this is Courtney Wallen here at RVNN TV, and of course I'm at home, but Andy McCaskey and Angie Kearns are back at the studio. How are you guys?
I've got to switch and move microphones and all sorts of things. Welcome to live television. Hi, Angie.
Hello.
So, Courtney, this is really a special day that we got going here.
It is. It's very special because we've got Jason and Nikki Wynn from Gone with the Winds, if you're not familiar. They are traveling around the United States, and they're joining us from Dallas, Texas today. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Good.
good.
Now, you guys are in a little bit warmer climate, as we've discussed before, than what we're experiencing here, but you guys aren't always in those climates. You guys have taken on quite a journey, and why don't we just go ahead and just talk about the basics. You guys are originally from Dallas, Texas, had a pretty nice lifestyle downtown. Jason, you're a photographer. Nikki, you're a makeup artist, and then you just kind of said, see ya, and took on this life in an RV. What inspired you?
Well, I guess first off, we were kind of living in this bubble, and it was fun, and we had a great time and successful businesses and everything. But we kind of yearned for something a little bit more, I don't know, exciting.
Exciting, maybe a little more meaning coming from our life.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people experience that at some point or another, but the journey that you've taken is kind of eco-friendly. You're doing a lot of different things, and you're seeing some national landmarks, but you're also kind of going to some eclectic places as well. Why don't you talk about some of the places you've been, why you've chosen them, and really what the whole journey is about?
Well, health, art, community, and basically eating good food has kind of always been a passion of ours. So, we basically decided to hit the road and kind of look for some of that stuff.
Yeah, we didn't really have a real clear-cut goal when we very first started. We knew we had certain things that were passionate to us, and that included, of course, good food, but we like local food and we like organic. We love to travel. We had so many state national parks we had never seen, and we knew that there was a lot of really great small towns out there, but we have never visited a lot of them, so it was kind of just a time to explore for us.
Yeah, one day we realized, wow, we haven't visited the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, Yosemite. It's just all these wonders out there to be seen, and we haven't done it yet. And what if we don't forget to do it? What better time than now?
Absolutely. And I have to say, you guys aren't alone. You guys have two little kids as well, and not really they're the furry kids kind.
Yes.
Yeah, the four-legged, yeah.
Yeah.
the four-legged furry kids. That's what we have, and they are a handful, but sometimes they're kind of a pain in the butt, but each night they curl up on the bed and they love you, and you realize why you brought them along.
Great. I wanted to ask you another question, Nikki and Jason, about sort of your experiences so far, and making a leap from traditional living in an apartment or home to RV is quite a challenge. Were there any rookie mistakes that transpired, and how did you deal with those?
Oh gosh, getting rid of all of your stuff is kind of an interesting task to go through. First, you want to kind of keep too much stuff, and then the further you go along, the more you kind of get motivated. You're like, let's just throw it all away, sell it all, get rid of it all. I think my biggest rookie mistake was probably thinking I was going to need a lot more than I actually did. I took about twice as much stuff and crammed it into every nook and cranny of that RV that I possibly could, and quickly realized that I needed to get rid of about half of it.
And for me, driving the majority of the time, my major rookie mistake was hurrying, rushing, not taking my time, not doing the obligatory walk around before you drive off. And thank goodness it was a different RV, but we scratched the heck out of it in the first year. And we got a new one now, so it's all clean.
Well, it sounds like that's maybe been a little liberating in terms of getting rid of stuff and also slowing down a bit and enjoying what's been placed in front of you. So you had to take a leap of faith, I guess, to get there, but do you feel like it's been worthwhile and really a great adventure?
Oh, it's been absolutely worthwhile. We originally thought, okay, we'll spend 2 years, kind of explore America, and then I suppose we'll settle down like we're supposed to. And now we've kind of gotten into the lifestyle and we're thinking, okay, how can we manage to keep this going? Because we don't really want to stop anymore. We're enjoying the mobile lifestyle. We love all the new people, love all the new places. It's kind of like a kid in a candy shop. Once you get started, you just cannot stop.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of focus on one particular thing because there's just so much coming at you from all angles. It's really unbelievable being on the road, and it renews your faith in kind of the human spirit too.
Yeah.
Very good. I have a question about your RV because it's obviously in a lot of your videos that you post, but it's a Monaco Vesta, which you said it's kind of a one of its kind, and it's got a lot of green features that I think a lot of people will be interested in knowing about.
Sure. Well, we were the first ones in the Monaco, and we actually flew out there and saw it before it really sold, and we knew it was perfect for us. It's smaller, 32 feet. We can get it into most national parks, most state parks. California has a ton of restrictions, so if you don't know about that stuff, make sure you do your research before you drive there. But basically, we thought we're going to take this already, fuel-efficient Class A motorhome and try to make it more green.
So we added LED lights and solar panels on top really helped out. We also changed out all of our faucets to low flow faucets, and it's really just a little filter that goes on there, which Jason knows way more about than I do. But it really did help with how far we could stretch out our water usage before needing to refill again, which also helps with not filling up your gray tank and your black tank as quickly.
Yeah, we try to challenge ourselves. Sometimes we'll go up to a BLM or some sort of national forest that's just beautiful, and we'll say, okay, we're going to stay for 3 days. And about day one, we're like, okay, we're going to stay for 4 days. And then before you know it, 7 days later, we're finally out of water, and it's time to go get some more groceries.
Yeah.
I've just been looking at your list here, and I was going to comment on hot air balloons and night diving and hang gliding and bike polo, but the thing that grabbed me was Burning Man. Tell me about Burning Man.
Yeah.
Burning Man actually has a terrible reputation because the first thing that people think about or that they see when they look up is photos of people who look blitzed out of their mind and they're running around naked, most of them. And that's actually not what it's about at all. Of course, when you have that, there are people that's what they're going to draw to and that's what they're going to take photos of. But we actually found that Burning Man was an amazing experiment in community and self-reliance, but people were just out there to have a good time, and everybody was so thoughtful and so helpful, and it was really just amazing. The art, the people, the music, the fireworks. It's something that everybody should do at least once in their life. But once you've done it once, you'll want to go back again.
It's definitely about community and RVing, and everyone drives an RV there. Everyone brings tents. It's just 50,000 people ascend on this desert, BLM desert out in the middle of nowhere in Nevada. And it just becomes this community of sharing and giving and helping and art. It's just, you have to go.
And then it all disappears and everything goes back to the way it was, right?
That is the plan. We saw somebody did a time lapse of it from before they started setting up to after everyone left, and it's just unbelievable to see. And I kind of wish we could have thought about that, but we would have had to have been there for like 2 months. So
Courtney, you jealous?
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna have to take a road trip to that next year, a company road trip.
That's right.
To Burning Man, but also like some of the other things on the list too are the underwater pumpkin carving. I think you did that in Arizona. That looked just these things that you do that I'm like, where do you come up with this stuff? Where do you find these things? And you guys are definitely finding it. For you guys, what has been the most memorable? I'm sure there's so many, but if there's just something that you just was totally kind of off the wall and amazing, what do you think that would be?
Well,
put you on the spot.
For me, in Lake Havasu City, we hiked to the top of Cupcake Mountain, and it was this celebration that's been happening for the past 25 years. And it was the final burn, and we just kind of did a documentary on it, and the people there were so, I don't know, they were just...
They had such a lust for life, but also for adventure. And the fact that this one guy could actually talk all of his friends into schlepping up all this equipment. I mean, 100 pounds worth of equipment on everybody's back to go up there for one night and kind of have a little pyromania. It was a really interesting experience. And because it was such a small group, we felt like we were let in on something that was kind of a secret, kind of cult type of thing almost. So we felt really privileged to kind of be a part of everything and to be able to actually document the experience. And for it to be the last year, it kind of felt a little extra sentimental.
Yeah, she said it.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, as I've heard both of you talk, there's a lot of themes that are coming out here in terms of, in touch with nature and self-reliance and community. What would be sort of the single biggest gift this adventure has given you?
Oh, the single biggest gift. I would say, as I mentioned earlier, renewed faith in the human spirit. Living in a city, you connected all the time. You watch the news. It's really almost debilitating how much bad press, bad news, bad social things are out there. And to get out on the road and really experience life and meet these great people and see these wondrous pieces of nature, it really opens your eyes.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's kind of that humanity, and the strangers are so nice, really. People are willing to do just about anything to help out a neighbor, whether you're in an RV park or whether you're just passing through a town and somebody sees that you need help. We've just had so many people reach out to us and help us, whether it's sharing a glass of wine, with someone inside their RV, or whether it's that, we scraped a knee inside of a national park and needed a Band-Aid. I mean, it's just, we've run across some really interesting people in some very uncanny circumstances, and we've ended up making great friends.
That's great. I actually have to ask one more question to tag on to that. The people, I think sometimes people have stereotypes on who RVs, but really it is a huge community, multi-generational. Is that what your experience has been as well? It's not, while there are more young people perhaps than there have been in the past, you've really been able to probably touch on a lot of different groups.
That's the beauty of how we've been traveling over the past year. Going to music festivals, we see hundreds and hundreds of people in RVs that are our age, and then we go to, say a national park, and we find people in their 50s, 60s, 70s that are just enjoying life as best they can, and it's really inspirational to see all that come together.
Yeah, I really feel like the younger crowd is actually kind of really tapping into the RV lifestyle. I think people are realizing that it's not just for retirees, that it's really this great way to travel, and it's a great way to see America, whether you're a family or a 20-year-old. It doesn't really matter. One of my favorite instances was at Alima Ranch RV Park. And we had just pulled in, and all of a sudden a guy comes running out of his trailer and over to us, and he just wants to introduce himself. He's like, well, I noticed how young you were, so I had to come over and come make friends, because he was like, I don't find very many other young RVers, out on the roads. It's kind of funny just to have somebody just cleave to you just because they saw, hey, they look like they might be in the same age range as I am.
Yeah, Courtney, are you seeing this as well when you talk to people?
I am, and it's funny because I'm in this generation where when I talk about where I work, sometimes they have that initial, isn't that kind of older for older people? And it's really not, obviously. And I just have to say that my boyfriend and I, you guys are our role models. We want to be you. We want to take that plunge and do what you guys are doing. There's so many people that are out there just kind of, like you said, selling their things and just saying there's no better time than the present, and just going and doing, because if you wait around, that's being responsible, right? And you don't want to do that. No. But you know what I mean? We talked to a lady. She actually was the one who won the RVID from our 10 Days of Giving. And she said she had this dream of traveling, and it just didn't happen when she was younger. And she wished that she would have. But the moral of the story was that dreams never die, because I think it was like 30 years later, she's doing what you guys are doing. So just go and do it. You know, is that kind of, you know, what is your message to the people out there that are wanting to do this or have dreams to do this someday?
Our major message is go outside and play now. What are you waiting for? It could be RV. It could be just packing up a car with a tent and going 2 hours away to a national park or a state park or even a county park. Why wait? It can happen now. Just do it.
Yeah, you don't have to have you don't have to be full time to explore. You know, even if it's just that you've got a little pop up trailer, or maybe all you have is a tent. You know, it's like, have you even explored the 3-hour radius around wherever you live? And we find that when we lived in Dallas, we didn't, and we have come to realize that there were so many amazing little towns, nooks, crannies, things to see and do right around where we were, and we never adventured out to them. So now it's kind of like, doesn't matter if all you have is a weekend or 2 years to spare. It's like, get out there, explore, find something new. It will light a fire under you, and you will have such an appreciation for nature, people, and community.
Well, we've actually gotten Courtney out in the middle of the night to go geocaching, and it was raining too. So that ought to be some initial credibility.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I'll do it with an RV someday.
Yes.
Courtney, what other questions did you have here? I think you got a couple more on your list.
Yeah, well, I kind of wanted to talk about, I'm a foodie too. I love finding hole-in-the-wall places. I love finding things that are just really unique, saying what, you know, show low, the locavore kind of thing. What's a place that you found food-wise? Let's talk about food real quick. That this has just been the best, you know, homemade pie or French fries or something that you've stumbled upon.
Okay, I'll start. I love eating, and I eat all the time. So we're in the middle of the desert in Yuma, Arizona, and the last thing you would think of was fresh seafood. So we just heard about this place, and we thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. Normally I'm the guy that drives through and says, yeah, sushi in the middle of this area? Oh, no, thank you. But this town, you know, in the middle of the desert, had this great fresh fish flown in daily, and just a beautiful restaurant and a wonderful lady who owned it, just inspirational and yummy food, and my tummy was happy when we left.
Yeah, she actually even grew a lot of her own little herbs and microgreens and such right there on the property around, so it really was a lovely location and such a surprise to find in the middle of the desert. Yeah. Although I have to say that my personal favorite is, I'm more of a beverage girl. So coffee is kind of a staple for me. I am not a fun person to be around if I have not had my coffee. And we found the most amazing coffee shop in Eugene, Oregon. And they actually roasted all of their coffee right there in-house. And they even had their own little plot, their own little farm in this one little region, and, you know, that they, you know, kind of overpaid their farmers but worked directly with them. And so they won a lot of awards for their brewing and such, but it was just such a neat atmosphere, and people who were so passionate about their coffee, from the roasting to love to talk about their farmers and their workers, to all the way to making the absolute perfect espresso or cappuccino. And if it wasn't right, they just wouldn't even serve it to you. They'd be like, no, I did a bad job. We're starting over. So it was a really neat location.
And we love to go deeper than just going to a restaurant and eating. We asked the owner, we asked to talk to the owner, we asked to talk to the brewmaster, we asked to talk to the guy that makes the beer. You know, it makes you more passionate about what you eat, what you put in your body, when you kind of know the faces of the people who are serving you and basically creating this food that sustains you.
Absolutely. Our sneeze control was
sorry.
turned off. No, that's okay. That's great. I just admire what you guys are doing, and it seems like you guys are going east of the Mississippi this year in 2012. And of course, we want to let people know where they can see and read about your journeys. Why don't you guys talk about your website and your journeys for 2012? Weird that it's here, huh?
It is. It's like right around the corner, and it's a little crazy because we haven't really started planning yet. We just know we're gonna go east, and that's about it.
We know we're going east, and you can find us at gonewiththewinds.com, and basically we'll be laying everything out kind of as we kind of find it, and we're asking you to please send us emails. Please tell us where the best places are so we can come and join in on the fun, because we're not the experts. You know, you guys are the experts out there, the viewers who have seen everything and have experienced these things that hopefully you'll share with us so we can be entertained.
Absolutely. Nikki, I have a coffee shop for you. I've heard that you guys are going to come out here east, obviously, Midwest a little bit. There's a place in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I happen to know the owners downtown. If you haven't been to Grand Rapids, I think you guys would enjoy that. So I'll email you my suggestion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we also know of a little shop that specializes in marshmallows.
Oh,
that
yes.
you might find interesting as well.
Yes,
That's actually another habit. I love to put marshmallows in my coffee.
Oh, look at perfect match.
There you go. I'm gonna have to try that now.
Yeah. Well,
really
I wanted to
it's
thank.
like chocolate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for joining us here. And then the other thing is, being live television, you guys have done wonderfully well with the back channel to you being totally frozen for the past 10 minutes. And to see Courtney's expression and Angie's expressions and so forth, and it just wasn't there for you.
It's been entertaining.
That's right.
Yeah, I didn't even
challenges.
I didn't even get to strike my good pose for the frozen
Aww.
frame. Sorry.
Yeah, well, we'll have a chance to see how this cleans up. But again, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Our pleasure. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Enjoy
Thank
the
you, guys.
adventure.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Okay, bye.